You've of course heard the old expression, go fly a kite. Well, today in the toy room, that's exactly what we're going to do. In the next few minutes, we're going to put together a beautiful vintage kite, and we're going to take it down to Vet's Field and up and away! In the 60s and 70s, you could really tell that spring had arrived when stores like Ben Franklin, Snyder's, and Target would have kites in the store. So you'd go buy your kite, there'd be paper kites, kites shaped like bats, and of course the odd puffer kite, which you blew up and you'd fly that kite. The best flying kite we ever had was a promotional kite made by Green Giant starting in the early 1970s. But before I get into the specifics of the kite, a little bit about the Green Giant Company itself. In 1928, the Minnesota Valley Canning Company created a Green Giant figure as its trademark. It was an unappealing figure. It was hunched and grumpy looking, and it wasn't even green, sort of like my brother Dave. But starting in the 1930s, a young advertising genius named Leo Burnett began to refine the figure into the cultural icon that we know today. Early TV representations of the giant didn't work very well because, as you know in fairy tales, the giant was always the villain, and very small children found the giant frightening. So the Burnett Agency put some of the qualities of Santa Claus into the giant, giving him an ever-present broad smile, calling him the Jolly Green Giant, and even giving him Santa's laugh, ho ho ho. In 1970, somebody at the Burnett Advertising Agency came up with the idea that they should put the Jolly Green Giant on a kite as a sales premium. The idea was that you'd be able to send in 8 labels or 8 cartons from a Green Giant product and get a very distinctive looking kite. So they went about creating a design and they printed up 20,000 copies only to find that the kite didn't fly. So they contacted the RB Toy Development Company that they had worked with before, and it was owned by a father and son. And Dennis Kupperman, he was an engineer, but he hadn't specifically trained in aerodynamics. He did, however, do research, and he looked at the high flyer kites and studied them, and he came up with his own design that he and his father patented. The advertising agency loved the kites, and these kites flew like banshees. And from the years 1971 to 1990, there were various designs. In 1973, the advertising agency introduced the Little Green Sprout character, and that was also incorporated into some of the kite designs. It seems to me that in the early springtime they used to have advertising in the Sunday comics, and that's where I became aware that the new Jolly Green Giant kites were out. And my mom was nice enough to gather up all the necessary labels from the big freezer downstairs or from the vegetable cellar. And recently I was rooting around down in my basement and I came across some of these packagings, which I'm assuming must have been set aside and were going to be saved to send in for a Jolly Green Giant kite. So let's take a closer look at some of these. Here we have some traditional Niblets corn, and here's another corn you can send in for some Green Giant magnets. And you can see the price here is 39 cents. And this here is kind of weird to me. Shoe pig white corn. I don't like the looks of that, really. And then look at this. This looks horrible. Rice and corn tomato flavoring. Mom, what were you thinking? That just looks very bad. This is one of the bags that a Jolly Green Giant kite would come in, and I retrieved this from the basement years ago. I had bought a couple of these kites on eBay, but this is the only one I could find downstairs. So we're going to take this out in the kitchen, lay it out on the table, and take a closer look at it. Here's the label on the bag that the kite came in, and as you can see, it's from the Green Giant Company in LeSueur, Minnesota. And this was delivered to Beth McIntyre in Massachusetts. Apparently Beth was able to order the kite, but she didn't have the gumption to actually put it together, so I guess that's my gain. So I'm going to pull the contents out from the bag here, and here's some of the plastic tubing used to construct the kite. And yes, we are in for quite a treat because this is the one that came with the little green sprout. We'll get to that later. So we'll finish getting the kite out of the bag here and take a look at the pieces. This is the connector that's in the center of the kite, and here's the little pegs that you put in the end of the poles here. As you can see, this is quite a large kite. The ends of the plastic sheet are hanging over the table. Of course, I believe these kites are quite collectible, and so it's great to have this in mint condition and unassembled. And even though it's going to bring down the value, I like you so much that I'm going to actually put this together now. The corners of the plastic sheet, there's detailed instructions which I'm going to use to put it together. And step 1 is the parts list, which we seem to have all the parts, which is great. Now step 2 is to cut out the kite from the plastic sheet. There she is. We got it out. Looks good. Step 3 is to take the reinforcement tabs and put them on the corners of the kites, and then there's one in the center with a slot in it. And I do have the reinforcement tabs. We'll see if there's still any stick left to these. Even though this is over 40 years old, it looks like this tape is still going to stick. So this is working out pretty well for us here so far. Step 4 is to take the end plugs and insert one of them into each of the struts over here. Take the little plugs here and put it into the end of the strut, like that. And there we have the end plugs put into the struts. Step 5 is to locate the pre-cut holes in each of the corners here, and using one of the plugs on a strut to poke a hole through it there. There we go. Looks good. Step 6 is to insert the struts into the center disc. Put the struts in. There it is. Step 7 is to lay the plastic sheet face down and then poke in the kite struts into each corner. And there's the fully assembled kite. Looks beautiful. Hang on there, little green sprout. But we're totally not done yet because we need to assemble the official sprout parachute. Figure 9 and 10 show the operation of the sprout parachute, and you'll need quite a bit of wind to do this, to blow it up the line. You hook it to the line, and then when you get it up where you want it, you jerk it around a couple times and the parachute comes down. Happy landings! Ho ho ho! And here we have the little sprout parachute completed and the Jolly Green Giant kite, and it's all ready to take off.
Here we are at Vets Field, and we're going to get ready to take the kite and put it up into the sky. Let's see if we can get this thing airborne. Woo. There, it's up. Whoa, it's up there now. There it is. Our friend and neighbor, Scott Wilcox from the old neighborhood, just happened to be driving by, and he's helping out as it goes down. As it goes down.
There we go.
Yeah, now you have it up there, right?
There we go.
Oh, you got it out there now, don't you?
We're getting there, huh, Mark?
Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, it's taking off. Once it gets to a certain elevation, I think it's...
Yep. I'm going to try to get it up as far, you know, the trees are kind of...
Yeah, is it coming down now already?
Well, it kind of wants to.
Oh, it's losing it.
There we go. Hi there.
Hey, you got anything? Do you remember having one of these, Scott?
I had one when we were kids back in the 60s.
Weren't they the best flying kites?
They were great.
Yeah. Did you have a puffer kite too, Scott?
I did have a puffer kite.
You blew those up. And
And that one didn't go very far.
no,
No.
the puffer kites. And
That's right.
kites shaped like bats, and
That's
you had
exactly right.
yeah, the paper kites.
Yeah. There we go, Mark.
Let's see her now.
What do you think?
Oh yeah, that should be out far enough.
There we go. God, it's been a while since I've flown.
Yeah, you don't fly one every day, do you?
No, I don't.
No, you just don't.
There we go. Remember what we used to do is, well, when we'd let them go, and then we'd get down to a certain string and we'd tie another string on there.
Oh yeah,
We're
and
going.
you add
Remember
on
that?
this, yeah, you add on another roll of string. You know, where'd you get your kites? Did you get them from Ben Franklin's or Snyder's
I
or?
can't even remember. I bet
You
it
don't-
was Snyder's probably. Huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh. Yep, those were the good old days.
they were.
You
Yeah,
know? And this brings it right back.
it does. You get
really
out
does.
at the old ballpark.
Yep.
The ballpark looks about the same, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it sure does. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice hat, Mark.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you like the hat,
Yeah.
and you got it up there pretty good, don't you?
Yeah, you know what? It is up there, isn't it? Hold on, Mark.
You getting it? Now get the sprout.
I got it. Oh, I'm
See
getting
the
it.
sprout? You getting it, Scott?
It's on there. I've got it.
So what you do is it goes up the line a ways, and you tell me when I should jerk it and let the parachute come down.
Oh my God! I'd let her go up, and I'd go another couple.
Couple feet in
Yeah,
there.
I would.
It's actually working here, so.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So you got it on in
Oh,
frame?
I've got it.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
I think we're ready to.
Ready?
Yeah,
Let her rip. Pull
there
a
it
rip.
comes down. See it?
I do.
Hey.
I got it.
Woo!
Yes.
We're
Perfect.
beautiful. I'm bringing her in now.
All right, Mark.
Bringing the green giant home now.
All right.
Thanks once again for stopping by the toy room. And hey, that was a nice surprise. Scott Wilcox from the old neighborhood just happened to be driving by and he saw me out in Vets Field. He and his wife stopped by to say hey, and Scott stuck around to help me fly the kite. Thanks a lot, Scott. I really appreciate it. Hope you had as much fun as I did. And now I'm going to leave you with one final treat. A 1-minute montage set to a song that many boomers may recall. Until next time, see you later.
From the valley of the jolly, ho, 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 green giant, good things from the garden, garden in the valley, valley of the jolly green giant. Sweet corn, golden corn, fresh as dew in early morn, tender corn a-comin' from the valley. From the garden, garden in the valley, valley of the jolly, ho, 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 green giant.